Okay, here we go. So hello guys, welcome again to my tutorial on basics of penetration testing. Today we're going to talk some about the offensive security of the cloud computing. So as a beginning, we're gonna introduce some definitions. So what is a payload? Basically, it's a code or program that runs after an exploit is successfully succeed. Okay, so what about backdoors? Also, backdoor is a method of bypassing normal authentication, which means I can get succeed to your machine without knowing or without getting any information about me. What is a reverse shell? So it allows us to interface with the system, typically through a command line. As you can see here, it's similar to SSH authentication, but without knowing, of course. Here we have steps in the penetration test. As you can see, we have the information gathering. For example, information on the server, any web server. You can use Nmap on this. We have the vulnerability identification. We can know Nmap version scan. We can specific the OS scans. We can do other scanning tools like burp sweep or OWASP, etc. We have the exploitation. What does that mean? We can specific some files like to identify users and passwords and do some brute force attacks and remote exploits. And finally, we have post exploitation like reverse shell, persistent, anti-forensics. What I've been using for doing penetration testing, I have a Linux distribution. Of course, on my machine I have Ubuntu, but you can use Kali Linux distribution to escape installing a bunch of tools manually. I have the Nmap network scanner already installed, and I have the Metasploit framework already installed. So what is Metasploit? It's an open source framework used for security development and testing. We can test information gathering and fingerprinting. We can test exploitation and penetration testing. As we said, we can test payload and generate and encoding them. We can test fuzzing, etc. So here we can see some steps in compromising. So first thing here, the hacker is going to make a port scan to detect the version of the port and the protocol used by the victim. If he find any exploit or any injuries on the victim machine, he can specific the port and inject them by payload and exploit. So finally he can get the reverse shell session. This is the process, and this is how the compromising steps used to be. Okay, how to secure yourself? First thing, you need to configure a firewall and make sure to specific a permission for who's accessing to your host. Secondly, if you're using Windows, make sure to install an antivirus and make it always up. Then we need to talk about the updates. You need to keep your system up to date always and whenever. Also, you need to be cautious and watch where you're typing and downloading to escape downloading some malicious code, of course. That's all as a beginning. Now let's move on to do some practice. I need to stop right now, and we meet in the next episode of my pentest series. Assalamu alaikum.